I'm sure there are a lot of CEOs that don't feel comfortable talking like this because of the public perception that it will put over their company, right? The stock is going to tank if I say that, like, I, as a CEO, as the leader here for the entire organization, is not doing well mentally, right? Isn't that crazy? We're all not doing well mentally in some way. You know what I mean? Like that's a normal thing, but they're probably scared to do that because of the implications that it will have financially. Yo, I never want to be in that position. What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the Quién, Eres podcast brought to you by Plural. You already know on Fridays, it's me sharing another audio, video, unscripted, unedited journal entry. I'm trying to normalize journaling, trying to normalize just getting our thoughts out and really just transferring that energy from our bodies to just really just get it out. That's the way that I would describe my anxiety is just built up, pent up energy that's in my body. And I don't feel good. You know what? I'm going to challenge myself. Not good. I don't feel ready to start the day until I can get that out. I don't feel ready to do anything until I can get out that pent up energy. And for some people, it's they got to work out, they got to yell, they need to vent. I found journaling, it's kind of like venting, but I've just found journaling really helpful in my process over the years to it's kind of like just like it's like the pregame before the party. You know what I mean? Like you might have a good time at the party regardless. Like I might be productive. I could do whatever, but hit the same with a little more drinks at the beginning. You feel me? Okay, all right. I've had some interesting. All right, wait, no. At the beginning of this, of all my journal entries, I typically ask myself, how am I feeling and how do I want to feel? And I want to feel, let's start, yeah, let's go backwards. I want to feel authentic and I want to feel unbothered and I want to feel unbuyable. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna get to this. I'm gonna get to this. But like right now, how I'm feeling is hmm, I just feel like and I can't think of the word, so I'm gonna just like describe it. It feels like I'm a politician running for office in a weird way. Like it's kind of giving performance review in corporate. So like, damn, this it's so funny when I start these because like I don't even if I do know what I want to journal about or talk about, I don't know that this is how I'm gonna start it. But hear me out. In if you've ever had a performance review in corporate, this is a very important and crucial time for as you think about it, right? For your future at the company, right? Let's say you really want a promotion. Well, if you get a really good performance review, that puts you in the position, especially if you've delivered good performance reviews consistently, maybe, a couple times in a row, it's like, oh, this person is consistent in their strong performance, hence we're going to give them a promotion, more money, better responsibilities, more exciting responsibilities, you name it, right? It's supposed to be a quote unquote better opportunity, right? And it's kind of like this carrot that is dangled in front of you as do this and we'll give you this. And if I look at it on a larger scale, I think about people in politics, right? I think about, and this is getting real political, but I'm not going to talk about any specific political issues, but I think about people in office and the relationship with lobbyists, right? Very simple scenario, but let's say there's a lobbying group that says, yo, it should be illegal to put pineapple on pizza. Let's just say that's the law that they really are pushing for. You know what I mean? And the people in politics will be like, yo, I mean, like, if you really that passionate about it, like, yo, slide me some bread, allegedly. Oh, that's funny. Bread, pizza, dough. Allegedly. Slide me some bread and yeah, I could make this law go down, right? So lobbyists got a bunch of money and they're being funded by, I don't know, let's say instead of pineapple on pizza, the lobbyist group is representing pepperonis, the pepperoni farms. Pepperonis aren't grown on farms, but just hear me out, right? They're representing pepperoni farms, right? So if people use less pineapples, they'll use more pepperonis, hence their profits will go up, right? So they're lobbying for people to use less pineapple, right? Okay, cool. You hear me out. Okay, you got it. So they'll slide some money over to the politicians, dangle that carrot, money. Yo, it all comes back to money, right? Ain't that some shit? All right. So dangle that carrot in front of them and they'll be like, yeah, I'll give you this if you do that, right? So then on the politician side, there's pressure to speak up, speak out, present a certain image of pineapples versus pepperonis in order to get continue. Not only because see, if you get that first check, right? Cool. But then as you continue, like you want to continue getting those big checks that the lobby is gives you, just like you want to keep getting that positive feedback on performance reviews, right? So I think we often start letting go of our authenticity. I think if it goes even deeper, we let go of our morals. I think if it goes even deeper, you get into ethics and illegal activity, et cetera, right? But like I'm not gonna talk about like that level of, you know, illegal activity and things people do for the money. What I'm getting at is I'm at an interesting place with the company, the startup, plural, plural, however you want to pronounce it, where I'm definitely feeling celebratory. And I don't really celebrate myself that often. I tell myself like I don't deserve to celebrate because like what did you accomplish? Like there's so much more to do, right? So it's difficult for me to celebrate myself. That said, I'm starting to share the app with more people, or at least a version of the app with a couple more people, and the feedback has been overwhelmingly positive. In fact, I think not that I think people have legit said like, "Yo, this is better than I expected." I'm impressed. Matter of fact, I'm gonna read you some of them. And I'm not gonna say any names, so it's not like I'm revealing identities and stuff like that. And I already asked these people, you know, yo, can I use this for marketing on social media, just take screenshots and stuff. So I'm sure they gave me that permission. I'm sure they wouldn't care if I read it out loud. So here we go. This is so good, Pavel. I'm using this every day. I'm already sold. Great questions too. Why am I reading it in that voice? I don't know. And one of my friends said, Dominican Mark Zuckerberg, minus being ugly and awkward, makes me so proud. They go on to say, I'm serious. I'm blown away at how well the chat works. I'm like tearing. What's another one somebody said? Oh, this is someone else. It literally felt like I was talking to a therapist. I loved it. Someone else. So I told the app I don't like confrontation, and that's why I often don't know how to talk to others about how I feel because I don't like arguing. I loved how it literally walked me through how I could start a conversation without feeling like I was going to be in a confrontation. Someone else. Love it, love it, loved it. Congrats again. This is going to be great. And then it literally feels like I was talking to a therapist. I loved it. And as I started sharing the app with more people, obviously there's a level of excitement, there's a level of validation, there's a level of eagerness to continue sharing it with more people. I said this previously, but March for me is getting over a lot of my startup fears. It is being more open about talking about what we're building, what we're launching. And in being more open, I'm also sharing the product with people ahead of time, right? And that level of excitement and eagerness isn't just for me, right? It isn't just for the customers that will be using this, right? I'm starting to have conversations with potential investors. And I've had conversations previously, but I put them on pause because a lot of the feedback that I was receiving is, yo, this is great. This is dope, but I need to see more traction. Hence, AKA, let's wait till you launch to see if people use it, how often people use it, et cetera, right? So I put that on pause to focus on just building the app, scaling our audience and community, et cetera, right? But I recently started re-engaging in some of those conversations. And the feedback that I want to share, and hopefully the person that is listening to, hopefully the person, if you're listening to this, you don't, I'm not going to reveal your identity or reveal who I was speaking to, blah blah blah. But it's more so just the nature of the conversation that I found so fascinating. The person was impressed and also said something along the lines of like, "Wow, I didn't expect the call to go as well as it did. Like you had essentially like amazing responses to all my questions. You're a great presenter. You have a great product. Blah blah blah. Right?" And I was like, I remember asking them like, "Oh, like why were you so surprised?" And this person listens to the podcast, which a lot of people do. Not really, but whatever. And they were alluding to my Friday episodes, which are again the one you're listening to right now. And they said something along the lines of like me talk like on the Friday episodes, like again, I don't know half the time what the hell I'm gonna be speaking about, but there are a lot of episodes where they're not the most upbeat, pleasant, skipping down the street type of episodes. Like, yo, last episode, like I was sad. You know what I mean? Like I was talking about my abuela. I mean, there's so many episodes where I talk about the struggles of just launching a startup, the fears that I have, not willing to like me doubting myself, me having imposter syndrome, me wanting to quit and be like, yo, should I apply for a job? You know what I mean? Like, and I don't do these intentionally to be like, these Friday episodes are all gonna be sad. I don't do it for that. That's just how I'm feeling that day whenever I record. And I don't even think about it as like, oh well, I've recorded 10 sad episodes. Let me record 5 happy episodes in a row. Like I don't have any of those goals in mind. None. Like whenever I decide to record, whenever I feel compelled to record, it's just that there's a feeling taking over and I feel like I gotta get it off my chest. And typically actually I record them on Fridays. And it's funny because Fridays are the days where I celebrate my wins. So you would think that Friday is often gonna be like a pleasant celebratory day, but I'm not always feeling like that. And I think that is the beauty of journaling. however you want to do it. That's the beauty of venting and getting your thoughts out. Like, I mean, not one, but just like you never know where your mind is going to take you. And I think the beauty of these episodes in particular is that, like, I don't know where this is going to go, but two, I'm trying to show you those, like, let's call it mess of thoughts, the tangents that I go on, the tangents that my brain goes on, the random thoughts that pop in. And also, I want to show you that life isn't always about the glitz and the glamour. I mean, I'd love to get to a point where it is, but oftentimes I struggle just like anyone else. Like we're human. But I'm saying all that to say that it was interesting that that person had that perspective of me struggling with this startup. And I couldn't help but think, huh, I wonder how many other people think I'm struggling, you know? Like, huh, what is everyone else's perception of me? Like, does everyone think this is going to shit and I'm gonna quit because of how I talk about my struggles? And then I was like, yo, I wonder how many opportunities or connections I've missed out on or like chances to speak about or pitch my product and startup because people think it's not going well. And then I was like, yo, no wonder people don't share their emotions. No wonder there is this like Instagrammable moments or Instagrammable, no, Instagramification. Oh, you saw what I did there? Okay. Instagramification of just life. Like there's a reason why people only put up the happy moments. There's a reason, especially if you are, let's say, raising money, right? Like in many ways, you probably want to show, like, yeah, things are going amazing. Like you want to invest in me because things are going amazing. You know what I mean? Like we haven't hit any roadblocks because we're that smart and talented, blah, 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 right? But that shit is so fake. It's so fake. Like that's not how life is. I could be struggling one day and then celebrating the next day. Like, why do I only have to show? And I'm not saying this person didn't tell me I had to. I just want to be clear. No one has told me yet that I have to show a certain side to build confidence in investors. And I don't, and if they did do that, I wouldn't be fucking with them because I'm gonna need you to take all sides of me. Hence, plural, more than one. I think the beauty in humanity is when you can show all the different parts of you. Like that's what makes you you. Like I'm not always happy. I'm not always sad. You don't take this mix, right? But also, I mean, one of the reasons why I launched this podcast is to let people know that they aren't alone. So often, a lot of these conversations end up going unspoken. And then because of that, we struggle in isolation. We struggle alone. And when we feel alone, we feel like we're the problem, right? And one of the most powerful things I still believe to this day that we can do is just let someone know that they're not alone. It normalizes the situation for them. It was like, oh, I'm not crazy, you know? And even if I am struggling, like I'm not the only one struggling. Maybe everyone is struggling because if this is difficult. And then in the midst of those conversations, you can find out how other people got help and you can get the same help, right? Blah, blah, blah. So tying it back to even the politicians and the performance reviews, and now, potentially fundraising from investors, I never want to make decisions based on that carrot that's being dangled in front of me. And I don't want to make a decision based on this potential lucrative, seemingly lucrative opportunity that's put in front of me. Like, I want to make decisions based on what I think is right for me. Like, I cringe at the idea of, I'm just making this up, right? But me being like, yo, if they gonna write a check for a couple milli, and they want me to not to talk about the sad stuff, I'm gonna do that. Ugh, ugh, like, ugh. I could just imagine even like making this up, right? But like even like a public company, right? I'm sure there are a lot of CEOs that don't feel comfortable talking like this because of the public perception that it will put over their company, right? The stock is going to tank if I say that, like, I, as a CEO, as the leader here for the entire organization, is not doing well mentally, right? Isn't that crazy? We're all not doing well mentally in some way. You know what I mean? Like that's a normal thing, but they're probably scared to do that because of the implications that it will have financially. Yo, I never want to be in that position where I've been faking it for too long and I'm finally over that. Ain't no way I'm going back to that. But as I think about a lot of CEOs, I'm just like, yo, how many of them are actually doing that? Like I think a lot of them are more so putting up the facade of like everything is going well. I'm living this lavish lifestyle. You should want to work here because look what this lifestyle is like. I think that's fine. And it's okay to show some struggles. And I think that's why a lot of people fuck with me is because like it's because I do keep it real. Yeah. So I don't feel conflicted. I hope I never feel conflicted because conflicted for me sounds like I'm actually entertaining the idea of faking it for money. And I've been there. So I don't know what the opposite of conflicted is. Maybe free? That's funny because free, like getting something for free. And then the carrot is money often. Yeah. I'm feeling free. I'm feeling like that's funny. How I wanted to feel early on in the episode is actually how I feel right now. I feel unpurchasable. But the story that I tell myself is that there will come a time where I'm just saying, I'm telling myself a story that there's going to be a lot of carrots being dangled in front of me pretty soon. That's all. And I just want to continue feeling unpurchasable and continue feeling like, like I want to just tell myself, like, focus on who you are, what you stand for, what you actually want, and all else is going to fall in place.